You open your phone, you scroll, someone just got promoted, someone else bought a house, another is off traveling the world, smiling, glowing, thriving. And without even noticing, you start comparing. Not because you're bitter, not because you wish them harm, but because some quiet part of you wonders, shouldn't I be there too? You glance at your own life, same desk, same room, same doubts, and that voice rises again. Did I miss something? Is everyone moving forward and I'm just standing still? Am I falling behind? That voice doesn't scream. It creeps, it lingers, it disguises itself as motivation, but leaves behind only pressure. The kind of pressure that makes your own progress feel invisible. Your wins feel too small. Your path feels wrong. And you're not the only one. Most of us feel this too. We forget there is no universal timeline, no invisible scoreboard, no finish line where someone hands you a trophy for catching up. Most of the time, we don't even know what we're chasing. We just run because everyone else seems to be running. We measure our lives with someone else's ruler and wonder why we always come up short. But here's the thing. You're not them. Their path is not your path. It never was. And their pace, not your rhythm, not your truth, not your story. So maybe the problem isn't that you're lost. Maybe you've just been looking in the wrong direction. But you're not the only one. In fact, almost all of us have looked for ourselves in someone else's reflection. We don't compare because we're flawed. We compare because we're wired to survive. Since childhood, we've been taught to measure ourselves. Grades, ranks, trophies, timelines. We learned early on, being better means being seen. Being faster means being worthy. Being ahead means being safe. So even now, as adults, we still carry that invisible scoreboard in our minds. We scroll through people's lives and update our own sense of worth based on what we see. But what we often forget is this. Comparison is not about truth. It's about perception. We're not comparing our lives. We're comparing our fears to someone else's highlights, their confidence against our uncertainty, their momentum against our stillness. And yes, we all feel it, but then it gets personal. It hits you. Their visible success against your invisible struggle, their certainty against your quiet confusion. And of course, it feels like you're losing. You're not even comparing the same things. How could that ever feel fair? So maybe the question isn't, why do I keep comparing? Maybe the real question is, why do I keep believing what comparison tells me? You don't notice it at first. It feels small, just a passing thought, a brief sting, until it becomes something more. Comparison doesn't shout, it whispers. And the whisper grows louder over time. Not enough, not fast enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough. Every time you compare, you trade curiosity for judgment. You stop exploring who you are and start editing yourself to match someone else. You begin to shrink, not on the outside, but in belief, in vision, in voice. You doubt what once felt right. You question what once brought joy. You second-guess your choices, not because they're wrong, but because they don't look like theirs. This is how comparison steals from you. Not in a single blow, but in quiet erosion. It rewrites your story while you're still living it. And the worst part, you start believing that what you are is never enough until it looks like what they have. You can't stop comparing by simply telling yourself to stop. That's not how the mind works. It doesn't obey commands. It responds to awareness. So start by noticing. Notice when comparison appears, what triggers it, what stories it tells, and how quickly it pulls you away from yourself. Noticing is the first kind of freedom, because once you see it, you no longer have to believe it. You can pause, breathe, and ask yourself a better question. Not, why am I not like them? But what is mine to do? What is true for me? What pace feels right for my life? Not just right now, but in the long run. Most people rush, not because they want to, but because they think they're behind. But behind what? Whose timeline are you trying to meet? Whose standards are shaping your self-worth? You don't owe your life to their expectations. You don't have to want what they want, chase what they chase, or prove what they're trying to prove. Your life is not a performance. It's a process, an unfolding, a quiet becoming, and it doesn't have to look like anything else to be meaningful. When you stop comparing, you create space, Space to listen, space to feel, space to remember what used to matter to you before the noise got loud. You return to your own rhythm, the slower pace, the deeper questions, the voice that doesn't scream, and slowly you begin to build a life that doesn't need to be validated because it's true, because it fits, because it feels like home, even if no one else understands it. You don't need to move faster. You don't need to do more. You don't need to become someone else just to feel worthy. You need to remember who you are when you're not performing, when you're not comparing, when you're simply present, because that version of you, the quiet one, the honest one, the one who listens and feels, is enough. The path you're walking may look slower, softer, less impressive, but that doesn't make it less real or less right. Growth is not always loud, peace is not always visible, and a meaningful life won't always look like a successful one. So let them run, let them rush, let them chase. You're not behind, you're becoming, you're not late, you're just building something that lasts, and that takes time. If this reminded you to breathe a little deeper, to walk a little slower, to trust yourself a little more, please like and subscribe. Together we grow. No pressure, no race, just a space to return to yourself, one quiet, steady step at a time. Thank you for being here. See you in the next one.